Good evening, everyone, and welcome to this monthly mindfulness session. My name's Lucy, so many of you will know who I am if you follow the Ellie's Gift Project. But for anyone that sadly is new to accessing support, then hi, I'm Ellie's mum, and I am the founder of the Ellie's Gift Project and the app. And every month I use some time to deliver a session, a monthly mindfulness session. And this month's theme really is about, um, I guess, shining a light on all that we hold as bereaved parents, um, but recognizing that within all of that experience, that we can certainly learn with time and with practice to hold it all in one bigger container. And by that, I mean everything from being, I guess, given permission by ourselves to touch joy again, to touch the things in our life that still feel nourishing for us, but also to also hold space for the guilt that might arise with that and everything else in between. So this month of May is a very special month for me because it's Ellie's birthday. Ellie would have been 9 this year, so it's her birthday on May the 12th, so not too far away. And Ellie is the reason really why we're all here. Um, it's the reason why the project was set up. And I guess for me, anniversaries bring about a lot of reflection and time to sit and pause and, yeah, just to kind of reflect on the year really. And I guess what inspired this evening's theme was coming up to her anniversary and recognizing that within all the difficulties that take place in relation to grief and the very kind of changeable weather that can present emotionally, when we are confronted with grief every day and still kind of expected to put our, what I often say, many faces on to present ourselves to the world, whether that be in work or in our personal lives around family and friends. Um, I recognise that within all of that, there are difficult parts, of course there are, but there are also parts which do feel good in terms of being able to access the things in my life that feel nourishing. Like, um, people may not know, but I am part of a women's rock choir. I love to sing, um, and whilst I kind of walk into that room holding the grief, of course I do, I'm still able to sing with a group of women, and that brings me an incredible amount of joy. Um, or whether it's going practicing with my local mindfulness group where I live to hold space with that group of people that have become what feels like family. It's very it's very kind of interesting to me how this how grief can be there, and we wake up with grief every single day, but also equally, if we do actively look for the things that bring us joy, some people call these glimmers. We teach this in our mindfulness course about leaning into things that feel nourishing, that feel good again, things that can help us to touch joy again. Then we can certainly learn to do that. Now, this isn't an easy thing, and it might even be that this isn't right for you at this time. It may just be an idea, a touch point that I'm kind of making reference to. I wanted to guide us through this evening a very short mindfulness practice on this theme of touching into, comfort and to ease and to things that feel good and nourishing. Um, And this certainly is the theme for the group that I'm running at the minute. We run a mindfulness 8-week course, and the group are very much at this point now where they have been invited this week to look for the things that are good. Now, it's not just enough to kind of look for them; it's really about savoring them, and that's where the changes begin to happen. There's a lot of research around this in that when we can, through the paying attention paying attention to our everyday life and the things that maybe are more nourishing, whether it's, we meet up with a friend and we have a hug with them. The idea is just to spend a little bit longer in that hug, to really drink it in, to feel into it, to spend a bit longer with the experience. And then that this is how good things stick with us, stay with us. When we actually spend a bit longer with them, there's a lot of research that's been done on this. Um, and my kind of teacher talks about how we all, I guess life sometimes can be a bit like a garden with lots of flowers and plants, and sometimes naturally in that garden there's things that aren't growing so well, or there's things that maybe have died, or there's things that maybe don't look as pretty. And it can be very easy to focus on all of those things because naturally, as human beings, we're all hardwired to notice the negative things more than the things that are positive. And that's all down to survival. We've been primed that way to keep us safe. But sometimes in grief, that negativity, what we call the negativity bias, it can sometimes be very, very intense, meaning that our attention is very much focused on all the things that are not going well or all the things that are bad in the world. And grief does that, and especially baby loss, because the worst thing has happened to you, to me, in our entire lives, and the brain's just trying to protect us, to kind of look for that danger, to tune into all the other things that are not so good, to protect us. And I'm sure you may be able to relate. I know that after Ellie died, um, my kind of view of the world changed. I was very acutely aware of things bad that were happening, and also worried about other things happening. Worried about my friends, worried about my family, worried about my own health, and that was a response to grief. So my teacher talks about this garden with all of these things in the garden that we may pay attention to, things that aren't so pretty, things that aren't growing well, etc. But actually, around all them other things, there are plants that are thriving, there are flowers that are blooming, there are, new beginnings of life beginning to happen. So just because the garden may not be flourishing in some areas, it's important to not disregard the things that are still growing and the things that are still they're the things that still bring us joy. It is an analogy. It's an analogy, this. Um, but I guess for me, it illustrates that idea in that in our life, there's lots of things around us that are not great, but equally, there are still things around us that are, and things around us that can bring us a little bit of hope, a little bit of joy, a little bit of ease. Um, and it's really important to try and, well, I guess for some people, this can be a helpful practice in that making it a real intentional thing to seek out the good in every day. There's a really helpful app actually called Three Good Things, and you can download that, and it just gets you to pay attention to three things every day that are good. Um, and that for me has been a great practice. And we've also got the Ellie's Gift app as well with our journaling tool in there, so you can track your weather, meaning your emotions, and you can track your energy levels, and you can talk, journal around how you are, things like that. So yeah, lots of helpful things. Anyway, so with all that in mind, I wanted to jump into the guided practice. So wherever you are in the world, because we're very fortunate to have YouTube, and very fortunate to be able to, you know, tune in from anywhere in the world at any time. So, yeah, wherever you are in the world, I would like you to close your eyes. If you don't want to close your eyes, if it feels too much for you, you can lower your gaze. And let's begin by taking in 3 deep breaths together. So, breathing in and breathing out. Breathing in breathing out. in and out. And just allowing your own breath to return to its own pace, its own rhythm, not changing the breath in any way now. So just taking a moment to zoom in to this moment now. This might be the first time all day that you have come to stop. You may have had a busy day, going about your everyday activities, or maybe you're back at work now. Or you may not be at work. Maybe your day's been full, but full of things that you've been consuming, like TV, scrolling on the phone, lots of activities that distract you from the present moment. So zooming in now to this moment here with me. If your feet are not touching the floor, if possible, if you can, in a seated position, and cross your legs and have your feet touching the floor, you sat on a chair, so that you can feel the connection between your feet and the earth, the connection between your body and the ground beneath you, steady, holding you in safety in this moment now. And just resting back a little bit more on the surface that you're resting on, whether that's a chair or the bed or a bench or the floor. Maybe you're being supported by the wall behind your back. Whatever's supporting your body in this moment, just seeing if you can rest back, giving yourself permission to be held in this moment, supported, safe. And even if the mind feels busy, that's absolutely fine. When we practice in this way, we're invited to bring in an attitude of kindness, which means just being kind to ourselves during this practice. So if the mind is busy, whenever you're able to, just gently bring your concentration back. Here with me. Not getting frustrated if you can. Accepting that the mind is full. And that it's actually a good thing that the mind thinks. Because we need that to happen sometimes. We need to plan things. We need to get organised. We need to remember things. So connecting to your physical body. Noticing first all the different touch points between your body and the surface beneath it and behind it. The parts of your body that are touching another thing. Resting. Connecting. In this moment now. And just getting a sense of your body breathing. Your body breathing in this moment, moving in and moving out, that breath of yours. That anchor. That place where you can always come back to. Where in your body does your breath feel strong? Where does your breath feel obvious to you? When you breathe in and breathe out, where are the sensations happening? Maybe at the nose or the mouth, or at the front or the back of your body. And whenever you notice where this is, just seeing as best as you can to place your concentration there. Be curious. What does it feel like to breathe? What sensations are happening? Is your breath long or short? Is it soft or hard? Is it fast or slow? You're just observing now, noticing the in-breath and the out-breath. Gently bringing your attention back to this moment, back to your breath, when your mind wanders off. So still being aware of the breath, I'd like to also invite your awareness, your attention, towards somewhere in your body now that feels pleasant, somewhere that feels warm, somewhere that feels comfortable, somewhere that feels relaxed. It might be the softness in your hands. Maybe your face is relaxed. So seeking out somewhere in your body that feels pleasant. Somewhere in your body that feels calm and relaxed. And just stay there, coming up close to all the different sensations that are happening, basking in the pleasurable experience of this moment. This simple moment, this simple connection right now is joy. It's something that feels good, feels peaceful, feels pleasant. And it's been there all the time, all of the time. I've just invited you to look for it. So just spending a few moments now. A few moments connecting with that pleasurable experience and the quiet of this moment here with me. Then gently bringing this practice to a close. So just letting go of any concentration on anything now. Just becoming aware of all of your surroundings, your body, your breath, this moment. You may want to gently open your eyes if they've been closed and just taking in all the different shapes and the colours, as if this is the very first time you have ever seen the room that you're in. Textures, patterns, fabrics. And then beginning to move your body in any way that feels nourishing, stretch, anything that you need to do. And I just want to say thank you so much for tuning in to this practice. It's always a real honour to be able to run these every month for our community. And they're always here to access anytime that you need. So yeah, so I think moving in then to the weekend, maybe seeking out things that help you to touch ease, to touch joy, to touch the things around you that, you know, maybe feel a little less horrible. And also welcoming in everything that comes with that as well. Sometimes that can bring up guilt. It can, make us feel sometimes frustrated at lots of things. But I always say that, we don't get a choice with what's happened. As sad as it is, it's the most horrible thing to ever happen. And I always think of my Ellie and think she doesn't have a life, but I do, and I'm going to live that for her to the best way I possibly can. Um, yeah, that's my legacy to her. I'm also acknowledging her birthday, so yes, please join me in wishing her a very gentle, heavenly birthday this year. And thank you so much for watching. So I will hopefully see you next month. And if you can make a donation to our project to help to support the work that we do, that would be incredible. You can find the donate link on our Ellie's Gift website. And we're also doing a charity fundraiser bike ride this year as well. So there's information across our Instagram pages to also, if you felt that that was something you wanted to donate to, then amazing. So thank you, take care, go well, and sending lots of love. Bye guys.